Croatia's entry into the excessive deficit procedure will be confirmed at a meeting of EU finance ministers in Brussels today. 16 EU member states are currently also in the procedure, meaning that their deficits are not within the European Union's threshold of 3% of GDP. Finance Minister Slavko Linić today will be asked to show the European Commission how Croatia is going to reduce its budgetary deficit to under 3% by 2016. Ahead of the meeting, Linić said the government had been preparing for this for the last few months. Prime Minister Zoran Milanovic today presented a report on last year's meetings with the European Commission. Milanovic told MPs that the excessive deficit procedure should not be regarded as a penalty, but rather as a mechanism which would help Croatia to introduce reforms which had been too long in coming, particularly drawing attention to the Labour Act in this regard. He also denied that the government would use money from second-pillar pension schemes for this purpose. The trial of former Defence Minister Berislav Rončević and his former assistant Ivo Bačić for the controversial purchase of 39 military trucks in 2004 is coming to an end, with state prosecutors today announcing their decision to drop charges against Bačić. Rončević, in his closing statement today, once again pleaded his innocence, rejecting claims that he had abused his position and authority. Rončević is alleged to have defrauded the state of 10.2 million kuna by buying more expensive and poorer quality vehicles for the Ministry of Defence. An earthquake measuring 4.1 on the Richter scale struck in Bosnia-Herzegovina last night at around 1 o'clock in the morning. The epicenter was 20 kilometers northwest of Banja Luka. The earthquake was felt in the Croatian towns of Sisak, Kutina and even as far as Požega. So far, there are no reports of material damage. The wintry weather continues. Heavy snow is falling in Lika, Gorski Kotar and in the Dalmatian interior. Also on the coastal highway, there are strong winds with gale-force gusts. Vehicle restrictions are in place on some highways in coastal regions, while most of the ferry lines in the northern and central Adriatic have been cancelled today. Zagreb's ice hockey team Medveščak has secured its place in next year's KHL League. This despite the fact the team lost its last match in Zagreb to the Russian side Severstal 2-1. Medveščak will play its last 4 games this season away from home. And in skiing, the Men's World Cup continues in Schladming, Austria this afternoon with the slalom event. Croatia's Ivica Kostelić starts 8th, while Mate Vidovic will be starting 73rd. This afternoon's forecast calls for cloudy weather in most parts of the country. On the northern Adriatic, there could be some light rain, while in western inland regions there'll be snow. Winds inland will be mostly weak. On the coast, there'll be a southeasterly Yugo wind, which will gain in strength, especially on the open seas. Highest daily temperatures will be between -5 and -1 degrees Celsius inland, between 7 and 11 degrees on the coast.